these are going to be the best settings for MW2, so make sure to pay attention. Let's get right into it.
All right, so just starting on display for the settings, these are going to be pretty basic. Honestly, you're going to have your display mode set at full screen exclusive. This will help you get the best FPS. If you're playing on windowed, it's going to ruin your frames and really just make the game perform a lot worse. This is going to be pretty simple. It's like your display monitor, graphics card for display adapter, refresh rate at the highest available. This is all going to be kind of personal preference on depending on your monitor setup. Same thing with display resolution. Apathy and I are both playing on 1440p. That's why we have it there. But if you're going to be on a 1080 monitor, it'll be a lot different.
Aspect ratio automatic, VSync off. That's going to help you with getting any more frames. Custom frame rate limit. I mean, you can have this on custom for the main menu. So that way you're not pushing your PC when you're not doing anything. Let's move on to the next thing here. We're going to go to quality. Render resolution, make sure it's always on 100. And fidelity cast on sharpening. And then we're going to have it on 100. This will make your game look so much more sharper. It's night and day.
Just something to note too on the fidelity cast. I remember when this setting became a thing in Vanguard, and it's been in Call of Duty since. It makes the game look incredibly good, and I definitely would put this on. But yeah, going on from there, we'll have anti-aliasing on Filmic SMA T2X. This will help your game just look super sharp. From there, you'll have the quality on low, video memory scale on 85. Then we'll go down to details and textures.
So obviously we want the most frames. We want to have the best performance. So we're going to have low on the first 4, and then clutter draw distance on short, particle quality low, particle quality level very low. Bullets impact and spray. This doesn't really affect FPS much. It's just like more of a visual thing. And obviously if you want it, then it's worth it. Shader quality low, tessellation off. You definitely want this off. This will take away so many frames. Terrain memory minimum, and on-demand texture streaming off. This was a previous setting that has affected people, and you know, it could be game crashes, could be affecting your FPS. So we want that off.
For streaming quality, we want to have it at normal, then volumetric quality on low. Again, a lot of these settings are going to be low and off just so we can really maximize the most FPS. And a lot of these settings aren't really necessary, like Apathy was saying. For water caustics, I think this is a new setting. We're going to go ahead and put this one off for now. Again, we were just trying to get the best FPS, but we may play around with this one because it says it kind of affects some of the light rays and light waves on the bottom of the ocean. But I don't know if that'll really matter or not, but we're going to have it off for now. Then down to shadow and lighting.
Shadow map resolution, very low. Screen space shadows off. Spot shadow quality low. Cache spot shadows on. The reason cache spot shadows is on is they always say that like improves your FPS a little bit. So you definitely want to have that on. Spot cache low. Cache sun shadows on. Particle lighting high, another of those settings that, like, even though it affects your GPU a little bit, it can technically give you some FPS. Ambient occlusion off for sure, another one of those things that would suck your FPS. Screen space reflections off. Weather grid volumes, we have that off for now. And NVIDIA reflex low latencies and post-processing effects, we want to have that on. Depth of field off. World motion blur off, and weapon motion blur off, and field grain 0. This is going to make your game feel super smooth. And again, Jerry, we're talking FPS, baby. Amazing performance on the game.
Absolutely, brother. Let's go over to view real quick before we wrap this up. The field of view, again, this is going to be a personal preference setting. It's really what you want to play on, but I know a lot of the Warzone pros, including myself and Apathy, we play on 120. For ADS field of view, again, this is personal preference. We both play on affected. Independent, it makes it more zoomed in, so if you prefer that, then go ahead and play with it. And a setting we've both spoke about that we like is this weapon field of view. This is actually a new setting. We have it on wide. It basically makes your gun look smaller on the screen so you can see more visually. You and I have been playing with it since the beta, and we've both been enjoying it. Then we have weapon field of view on default. And again, this is a big one I personally forget a lot, and I know a lot of people do as well in the Warzone scene, but you want to change your camera movements both to 50%. This will basically help with all this screen shaking, especially in something like the campaign. You're going to want to put this on least 50 for both of them, and it'll help you to kind of see more visually whenever you're playing throughout the game.
So now in the controller settings, you definitely want to put whatever you prefer for like sensitivity and things like that. We like to run a lower sense just because we feel like it's more consistent. Going down to the gameplay, automatic sprint is a must. Automatic tactical sprint is basically like a cheat code. It'll help your movement so much more, so you definitely want to have that on. Tap to reload is, you know, something we're using right now, but I know tap to interact is going to be big on Warzone 2. And for the advanced settings,
you're going to want to put aim response curve on dynamic. This is probably the stickiest aim you can have whenever you're snapping upon opponents, and it'll just help transition those gunfights super easy for you guys. Basically like a cheat code ever since they added dynamic back in MW 2019. Something that you really need to change and that a lot of people forget is your input dead zones. You're going to want to put your left minimum input on 0 and your right minimum on 5, or you can really play around with this one. You can go a little bit lower here, but it's all going to be dependent upon your controller because you may get a little bit of stick drift the lower the number goes, but 5 seems to be like a good base for us. Then for the maximum, I put my left stick personally on 80. It basically allows me to only have to push my thumbstick to 80% of the way before it touches the border of the controller, and allows me to reach full movement speed a lot faster. And then the right maximum I have on 99, and I don't really ever mess around with the left and right triggers, but some people do. But I personally have a Battle Beaver controller. I know Apathy does as well. And we have hair triggers. So basically allows us to shoot as fast as we possibly can.
And for the last thing in these settings, we have grounded mantle off, automatic airborne mantle partial, and automatic ground mantle off. This is basically going to allow you to have better movement with your slides, and also you're not mantling on everything, which can be very annoying. Then we got audio mix on home theater. This is going to be amazing for like hearing footsteps, basically. Master volume on 50, music volume on 0. You don't want to have that music volume in the background. That could be annoying. Dialogue volume on 70, so you can hear the voice of your character calling out stuff. Effects volume on 100. Hit marker volume, I have this on 90.
Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips. We'll see you in the next one.